What is going on, football fans? John from Odyssey Sports coming back at you with another NFL video. Today, guys, we're going to be covering the NFL Divisional round of playoffs coming up this weekend. We have another very exciting slate of games coming up for you guys. Tomorrow on Saturday, we have the Rams and the Packers facing off against one another. We also have the Ravens at the Bills. And then on Sunday, we have the Browns going all the way to Kansas City to visit Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And then on Sunday night, we have the Bucks and the Saints going head to head. Guys, like I said, another very exciting weekend of football. I'm going to give you guys my predictions for these games, and I'm also going to give you the keys to victories for each team heading into the weekend. So, guys, let's just jump right into this video. So, to begin, we have the Rams and the Packers. So, guys, like I said before, Aaron Rodgers is coming off an MVP-like season. His regular season was insane. Let me just bring up the stats for you real quick for Aaron Rodgers. He had 526 attempts, 13th in the NFL with 4,299 passing yards, 7th in the NFL with 48 touchdown passes to 5 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers, he's 35, 36 years old, and he's still playing like he's in his prime. And usually quarterbacks, when they hit the wrong side of 30, they don't really do much, except for guys like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning. The list goes on. But anyways, guys, let's jump right into this game. Aaron Rodgers is hot, like I said, but he's also facing the most complete and well-balanced team in the NFL in the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams pass rush is still dominant. Even if Aaron Donald isn't playing, which he is, the Rams are scary on defense. That front seven is nothing to reckon with. And even if Aaron Donald re-aggravates that rib injury, Aaron Rodgers is still likely to be under pressure all game, especially with David Bakari out, the left tackle, the all-pro left tackle. That's going to hurt the Packers immensely. He tore his ACL. I think it was week 16 or week 17 of the regular season. Huge loss for the Packers, and I hope Bakari can bounce back and have a good season next year if he plays next year. So we do have good news for Green Bay. However, tight end Mercedes Lewis, he's active. Tackle Rick Wagner is active. Wide receiver Alan Lazard is active for this game, as well as linebacker Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith is a big playmaker on defense, and he is crucial to Green Bay's defensive game plan. These guys were limited throughout the entire week, but they are set up to play for Saturday's game, like I said. And for the Rams, Cooper Kupp, he was a non-participant all throughout the league this week in the Rams practices. Yet Coach Sean McVay is confident that Cooper Kupp will suit up on Saturday. I really don't foresee Cooper Kupp playing in this game. That knee injury didn't look like anything. It just didn't look good. The knee injury did not look good. I'm worried for Cooper Kupp, and I'm worried for the Rams. They really need all the pieces. They need everybody healthy for this game to beat the Packers. So, guys, let's jump into the keys for victories for both these teams. First off, for the Rams need to rush this ball to win the game. They still have a very dangerous rushing attack led by Cam Akers, the rookie. He was a huge factor last week in the Seattle game. You saw how explosive he was. And the Rams need to build off that momentum. They also have guys like Darrell Henderson in the backfield, and they also have Cam Brown. These three guys can really make an impact in the running game like we saw throughout the year, and they need to keep the ball on the ground, especially with Jared Goff hurt. And that brings me to my next point. Jared Goff is playing in this game, but you need to protect him. Your offensive line needs to build a wall around Jared Goff, and you need to make sure he does not get hurt. He's playing with that thumb injury, so we don't even know if Jared Goff will play the entire game. Backup Blake Bortles is active. You all saw what happened to John Wolford last week with the neck injury. And if Jared Goff gets hurt and Blake Bortles plays, I don't think the Rams are going to win. Blake Bortles, you guys saw what he did in Jacksonville. You know what kind of quarterback Blake Bortles is. He's nothing special, and he's going to lose the Rams the game if he plays. So the Rams also need to spread out the ball in the passing game. Players like Josh Reynolds, Gerald Everett, Tyler Higbee, all not necessarily big players, but they get the job done. They can make plays and they can move the chains, and that's what matters in this game. Don't forget to involve your running backs in the passing game, especially if Cooper Kupp doesn't play. They also need to keep they need to keep up the punishing defense. Let's be honest, guys. That defense is the heart and soul of the team, not the offense. They need to get to Aaron Rodgers. They need to make him second guess himself. They need to crash on the offensive tackles, and they can't allow Devontae Adams to have a big game. Everybody's hyping up the Devontae Adams and Jalen Ramsey matchup. I'm very excited to watch this matchup. I feel like it could go either way. Jalen could lock up Devontae Adams, or Devontae Adams could go off for a 100-plus yard game with maybe a couple touchdowns. We'll never know. But not only is Jalen Ramsey essential in this game, the entire secondary is, because Aaron Rodgers, he's known to make plays. Devontae Adams is his only playmaker. He can spread the ball out. He can find other playmakers in the field, and he can get those guys down the field into the end zone. So the secondary has to be on their heels, or on their toes rather, in this game if they want to win. And another guy they need to look out for, by the way, is Robert Tonyan. Robert Tonyan is a vertical threat. He's a scoring machine. He had 9 touchdowns this year. Robert Tonyan is a threat to be reckoned with. The Packers, on the other hand, they need to protect Aaron Rodgers at all costs. Like I said, the Rams' pass rush is one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. And if Aaron Donald is going to suit up like they're saying he is, then they really need to protect Aaron Rodgers. Get Devontae Adams the ball, even if he is matching up against Jalen Ramsey. He's still your biggest playmaker. He still can get in the end zone, and he's the biggest deep threat you have. So get the ball to Devontae Adams. If you don't get the ball in his hands, you're not going to win. Aaron Jones is another factor in this game. Matt LaFleur needs to utilize him in the passing game, because Aaron Jones is just as dangerous in the passing game as he is in the running game. And on defense, shut the Rams' running game down, kill their confidence. The running game is their heart and soul on offense, and you need to punch them in the mouth in the running game. And that's how you will win if you are the Packers. Honestly, guys, I foresee the Packers winning this game. I really don't think Jared Goff is going to be able to do much. He's still nursing that thumb injury. He didn't do much against Seattle last week, and Seattle doesn't necessarily have a good defense. Green Bay's defense is a little bit better and not really anything special. But honestly, like I said, I think the Packers are going to come out with this one. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to advance his team to the NFC Championship for the second year in a row, and possibly maybe even the Super Bowl. So in this game, I have the Packers winning 27-21. Now on to the Ravens and the Bills. Big expectations for Josh Allen in this game. You guys saw what he did against the Colts last week. 300 plus passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen is an animal. He's having a breakout season, and teams are afraid of him, and rightfully so. And the Bills really in this game, they need to capitalize off their win that they had last week against the Colts. They need to punch the Ravens defense in the mouth. Just keep it through the air, honestly. Your run game isn't anything special. The Ravens have a good secondary, but it's going to be hard for them to stop the passing game with a dynamic duo in Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. And finally, establish yourself as a top-tier QB, Josh Allen. Like I said, the Ravens have a good defense, but if you can really have a good game against these guys, then there's no question about it. You are top of the top. You are up there with Aaron Rodgers and Pat Mahomes, no matter what anybody says. This will no doubt be a tough game for Josh Allen in the Bills offense, but I believe that they can come out on top in this game. Same case scenario for the Ravens here. They're coming off a culture-defining game. They beat the big bad Titans and Derrick Henry. They figured out their kryptonite, which is Derrick Henry, and they stopped the running game. And honestly, I feel like the Ravens could do the same here. They can find the Bills' kryptonite, and they really need to stop Josh Allen. Josh Allen is the biggest playmaker on this Bills offense, and if they can get to Josh Allen, then the Bills don't really have much of a chance. The Bills need to defend the run on defense, most importantly. Their run defense is imperative in this game. They have one of the worst run defenses in the league. They are not a run-first defense, and they need to step up in this game. They've given up 518 yards in the past 4 games. That is not acceptable. You guys have to stop the rushing game, especially against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They also need to keep Mark Andrews contained. Mark Andrews is still a good tight end, even if his production went down this season. The Ravens are obviously an offense dependent on the run, but Mark Andrews is a huge vertical threat, and Lamar will not hesitate to look his way. The Bills are terrible against tight ends. They're right behind the Jets in the league in terms of giving up receiving yards to tight ends. So you have to stop Mark Andrews in this game. The Bills' defensive backs also need to show up as well. Against man coverage, the Ravens receivers struggle immensely, but that's where Lamar thrives in the running game. He takes advantage of the man coverage and he runs downfield for a big play. He moves the chains. In zone, however, the Ravens receivers are far more effective, but Lamar's running ability is limited immensely. Lamar is not as effective against zone defenses as he is against man defenses, and the Bills mainly run a zone defense. Utilize guys like Tremaine Edmonds in your defense, by the way, Buffalo. He's a very dynamic player. He's good against the run, and he can stop the pass. So if you're running a zone defense, keep a guy like Tremaine Edmonds in the box and keep Lamar Jackson guessing. Also for Buffalo, you need to have Josh Allen spread out the ball. You have Stephon Diggs, that deep threat, big play wide receiver. But you also have guys like Cole Beasley in the slot. You have John Brown. You also have Gabriel Davis. You have some good options. You have Dawson Knox, a red zone threat. So Josh Allen needs to spread the ball out this game if the Bills want to win. The Ravens, on the other hand, they need to keep rushing the ball, of course. The Ravens are probably the best rushing team in the league. They have the best rushing attack. And let Lamar use his big play ability like he has all year. Get Mark Andrews the ball. Like I said earlier, the Bills cannot contain tight ends, and they probably won't be able to do the same against Mark Andrews unless they really have a defensive game plan to stop him. They also need to feed J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards the ball. J.K. Dobbins is a heavily underrated player, in my opinion. He was one of the better rookies this year on offense. He's a good running back, and I think he'll have a good career. Gus Edwards is a pretty solid backup, and they're both of them are really dangerous in the running game behind Lamar. So get those guys the ball on the ground. Also, you need to lock up Stephon Diggs. I'm assuming that they'll probably have Marcus Peters playing on Stephon Diggs. I'm not entirely sure. They might have Marlon Humphrey on him, but Marcus Peters is a lockdown corner, and he doesn't give up any yardage to his guys. Um, and also, lastly, for Baltimore, you got to force turnovers. You got to make Josh Allen throw interceptions. You got to get to him in the pocket. You got to make him lose the ball. Josh Allen isn't the most secure person with the ball. He tends to fumble the ball sometimes. But keep him in the pocket. He can also scramble. He has those legs. Josh Allen can move the chains with his legs. So you need to make sure that you contain him in the pocket and turn over the ball, like I said. Now, guys, we're going to move on to the Browns-Chiefs game on Saturday. Another game that I'm highly anticipating. Actually, before I get into that, I just want to give my prediction for the Bills game. I do think the Bills are going to win. The Ravens are a very talented team. They have a very good defense, very good rushing attack, like I said. But I think the Bills will be able to edge them out. I think Josh Allen will be able to solidify himself as a top tier QB. But I have the Bills edging out the Ravens 24-20 in that game. So now let's move on to the Browns and the Chiefs. We all saw what happened in Pittsburgh last week. The Browns toppled Pittsburgh. They had a great game against them. They had 28 points in the first quarter, the most by any team, and are tied for the most by any team in postseason history. So Cleveland, they're for real. They're a good team and they have a good future. But are they really a contender? And do they have a chance going up against Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs? Unfortunately, guys, I don't think so. Cleveland's a good team, and I respect them. I love Baker Mayfield, and I love Cleveland, but I just don't think they'll be able to get it done this game. Mahomes and the Chiefs are the favorite to win the game, obviously. They have the best offense in the league, and they have some of the best playmakers in the league as well, in Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. This game is going to be incredibly difficult for the Browns to win. Head coach Kevin Stefanski is returning to practice this week, which is very fortunate for the Cleveland Browns. He will be making the play calling in this game. Um, the Browns also got cornerbacks Denzel Ward and Kevin Johnson back. Huge additions for them. Denzel Ward he's a pretty good cornerback. I like Denzel Ward. He's still young. He still has a lot of growth to go through. He has room for improvement, but Denzel Ward is going to be key in this game in locking up a player like Tyreek Hill. Both starters back from the COVID list, obviously, and another guy coming back is Robert. Not Robert Jackson. Robert Jackson. Why it's so important for Denzel Ward and Kevin Johnson coming back is because backup cornerback Robert Jackson, he injured his hamstring last week against Pittsburgh and he's out for the season. So obviously these two corners are really, really, really good for Cleveland to have back. So, guys, let's get into the keys for victories for both teams. Michael Dunn for the Cleveland Browns. He has to have another big game. He was filling in for Joel Bitonio, the All-Pro guard that was out with COVID. Um, and Dunn has to build on his performance from last week. He has to keep Baker protected in the pocket. He only gave up one hurry last game against that dominant Steelers pass rush. So Michael Dunn has to have another big game. I'm confident that he can do it, especially against Kansas City's defense, because Kansas City's pass rush, they have Chris Jones up there. They have Frank Clark, two really good playmakers on defense. But I don't really think that Kansas City is going to get to Baker much this game, and I think Michael Dunn will have a good game. But guys, for whatever the reason, the Chiefs, they're always so good off the bye. They're always so dominant. I actually read this. I think it was from think Jeff Schwartz or something on Twitter. Uh, so under Pat Mahomes and under head coach Reed, they have 40 points, 31 points, 40, 51, and 35 points coming off buys in their careers. Um, Kansas City is just hard to stop off the bye. Like I said, I don't think Cleveland is going to be able to do it. The Browns, if they want to win, they have to get off the field on defense. They have to stop Pat Mahomes, and they need to focus their defensive game plan on the pass attack because that is where Kansas City is most dangerous, obviously. Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if not the best. You got to stop Pat Mahomes. You got to get pressure. You got to lock down those receivers because you also have guys like McCole Hardman. You have Demarcus Robinson, Travis Kelce at tight end. Hell, even Le'Veon Bell and Clyde Edwards-Helaire are threats in the passing game. So you got to stop the passing game. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt also need to have another explosive game like they did last week. Both guys had great games against Pittsburgh, and they need to have good games against Kansas City. Kareem Hunt has a chip on his shoulder, which is fortunate for the Cleveland Browns. He's facing his old team, Kansas City, after he got cut by them. So hopefully Kareem Hunt shows up big in this game. Hopefully he shows up on Sunday and gets in the end zone for the Cleveland Browns. Baker, all I got to say is keep doing you, my guy. I'm really impressive with your growth and how you're progressing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep making plays through the air. Manage the game. Baker, I have faith in you. Um, and for the Chiefs just got to do what the Chiefs do. Just be explosive and dominant on offense, and you'll win the game. And just get off the field on defense because the Browns do have a dangerous offense. But like I said, guys, I don't really see Cleveland winning this game. So I have the Chiefs winning this game 31-17. Now for the last game of the week on Sunday, another very exciting game, guys. We have Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going against Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. Tom Brady and Drew Brees meet for the eighth time this weekend, and this could possibly be the last game we see between these two GOATs. Tom Brady and Drew Brees are going to go down as Hall of Famers, first ballot Hall of Famers. These guys have already gone down in history. They both have Super Bowl wins. They both have Drew Brees doesn't have an MVP, but Tom Brady has an MVP. Drew Brees is always in the conversation. So it's going to be a very exciting game for these two quarterbacks and these two teams because not only do they have two very good quarterbacks, star quarterbacks, but both these teams have excellent offenses and defenses. Um, and Drew Brees is 5-2 against Tom Brady in his career, so we'll see if he can capitalize off that. We'll see if he can keep that narrative alive. Um, really, this game can go either way, so I'm not too sure yet. Like I said, both teams have great defenses and offenses, and the Saints are 2-0 against the Bucks this year. They're both in the same division this year. Tom Brady and Drew Brees. Drew Brees has the edge over Tom Brady, but Brady and Tampa Bay are coming back with a vengeance. They got blown out in Week 9. Yeah, that was Antonio Brown's first game, but the offense really hadn't gelled yet. They're still kind of getting familiar with one another, still building that chemistry. So we'll see if Brady and the Bucks can do it this week. So, guys, I'm going to get into the keys for victories for both teams. Tom Brady and Drew Brees, they're two of the hardest quarterbacks to sack this season. And I didn't know that, but I should have because both their offensive lines are so dominant. They have really good, the Hogs up front, really good core group of guys that don't let pass rushers get any pressure. They don't let guys get through the line of scrimmage. They're really good at keeping their QBs back there, giving them enough time to throw the ball and make a play. The Saints need to get to Brady, though, however. Their pass rush needs to be focused on getting to Tom Brady, obviously. He does not perform well under pressure. Brady is ranked 5th in QBR without pressure, but when he's under pressure, he's tied for 31st in the league amongst quarterbacks. Another thing for the Saints, they're out with Trey Hendrickson. He might not play in this game. His status is still uncertain. He's a young stud defensive end who came out of nowhere this year with 13 and a half sacks. Really impressive numbers for a guy that nobody has really ever heard of, and he's just an up and coming star, really. The Bucks, they need to force turnovers in this game on defense. Really, both the keys to victory for both these teams is on defense. Their offenses are really high powered, polished units that can score the ball. So I have faith in both offenses that they're going to be scoring this game. It's going to be a high scoring game in my opinion. But their responsibility really lies on the defenses in this game. The Bucks need to turn over the ball, or they need to force turnovers rather. They need to get interceptions. They need to cause fumbles. Whatever it is, they need to get off the field and get Tom Brady the ball. Tampa is 5th and 4th in forced turnovers this year, actually. So Tampa Bay has a very solid group of guys on defense. I think they can get the job done. They need to get stops on third down because the Saints, they're a team that always has control of the ball. They have methodical, well thought out plays. They drive down the field and they score the ball. And even if it's a field goal, they always score the ball, it seems like. So you got to stop the Saints on third down. You got to get Tom Brady the ball. And another thing I want to add, Leonard Fournette, he's coming off a big game last week against the Bears, against Washington, I'm sorry. Leonard Fournette, he's still a good player in my opinion. If you're in a big play opportunity or if you're in a scoring opportunity, you need to get Leonard Fournette the ball. So those are my keys to victories for both the Bucks and the Saints. I have the Bucks winning this game actually, even though the Saints are favored in this one. I have the Bucks winning in a shootout. I'm gonna have them winning 38-36. That's right. 2-point margin in this game. I have the Bucks winning. I have Brady advancing to the NFC Championship against Green Bay. I'm very excited for this weekend. It's going to be a great weekend of football. Who knows? My predictions could be totally wrong. The Browns could win. The Saints could win. Hell, even the Rams could win, and so can the Ravens. The Ravens can definitely win against the Bills. But like I said, guys, this was the recap for divisional round coming up this weekend. My predictions and keys to victories. We'll see if these teams can live up to my expectations. So, guys, I just want to thank you again for watching the video. Don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the very next video. Peace.